you want to be sure that you don't say silly things or dopey things, and you know this is kind of the home of silly and dopey things. And so at the beginning of the show, I introduced you as an American hero, and it just kind of came out of me. It was nothing really that I had considered or even thought about saying, but in many ways, in many respects, you certainly are heroic. But does it make you uncomfortable to be described that way?
A little bit, because I had so many privileges. You know, I've got financial resources and the best help, and I think heroes are people who have ordinary circumstances and they have to fight through incredible obstacles. I mean, the day in and day out struggle, you know, for insurance and all that. And so I have it pretty easy by comparison. I think those ordinary people who are working really hard, they're the American heroes.
See, to me, and I think to anybody else watching that would find it unbelievable that you can honestly have that perspective. You know, that really is amazing.
I do think that, yeah.
Dine with kings. We'll have the finest things. Carve our names in stone. We'll never die unknown.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Get back in the saddle. Just get back up. We got this. This week we're going to talk about Christopher Reeve, the one and only Superman to me, but it's kind of like James Bond. Everybody has their favorite actor that plays that role. And for me, Christopher Reeve was Superman. So he did 1, 2, and 3. It was fantastic. 3 is the best. So funny. With Richard Pryor. Great movie. A lot of that was filmed up here around Calgary, I think, just south of Calgary. So we're going to talk a little bit about Chris and the accident that he had that caused him to become a quadriplegic, basically shoulders down, paralyzed. There's always someone out there that's doing a little worse than us. And yeah, this is a good story. So we got 2 video clips we're going to go through. First one is the movie trailer to his documentary, the story of his life. And then I'll give you an update on the documentary. And then I'll fill you in on the meeting I had with AMI. We had 2 of their executives come visit with us. They actually came to the house. So Jim and Andy, if you're listening or watching this, thank you very much. We sincerely appreciate the time you took and the great discussion. All right, let's jump into this.
Christopher was determined that come hell or high water, he was going to make it look like this character could fly.
We're doing something in this picture that no one's ever done before. There is a team, there's 100 of them, called the Flying Unit. They didn't have it all figured out in advance. It was a kind of learn-as-you-go process.
The first time I ever saw Chris really fly, he came at camera, and for some reason, he actually banked his body, and he flew past us. The camera stopped rolling. There was dead silence, and then like 50 people all of a sudden started just cheer.
The flying happens in the eyes. It must happen as a state of mind.
You've never seen a man fly like that before.
The one which I really had to work to sort of achieve the grace that it needed. It called for me to do a flip in the air as I'm going up on a crane, arch backwards, and wave all at the same time. Bye.
He convinced me, when I first met him, that he would fly. He's also convinced me he'll walk again.
I began to face my new life. I tried to cover up my feelings as best I could, but when I saw our home again, I wept.
I do wonder what it was like for him to look out and be like, that's the pond that I skated on. Now I'm just staring out at the past.
Beautiful day in the Berkshires.
RKD your mouth.
People often ask me what it's like to be confined to a wheelchair. I would say the worst part of it is having to make the transition from participant to observer long before I would have expected.
Dad was 42 when he had the accident, and Will was almost 3. I'm 42 right now, and my son's 3. Yeah, it was really only after becoming a parent myself that it really hit home how hard it must have been for him.
It was a typical scene. It's the haircut movie. Oh, and there's Dad waiting in line for his.
He was still the same bright, quirky, thoughtful man, but my mom, she was doing everything.
Still got it, honey.
She was playing the role of mother, physical father, and caregiver to a husband.
Papa was doing his breathing exercises. We do adjust because what are the alternatives? I mean, it would be miserable not to, but do we long for our other life? Yes, every day. I mean, it's a drastic change.
Even in my own house.
I'm very blessed to have a wife like that, just very supportive. Has got my back all the time, and vice versa. I've got hers. And there are a lot of people out there that don't have a partner like that. And if you're one of them, don't hesitate reaching out. We can get on a phone call, talk anytime you need. And some of you do, so thank you. I appreciate it.
I'd never be able to be alone again.
He needed 24-hour nursing care.
His care was running around $400,000 a year. While they were better off than most, they weren't better off as most people thought.
There was this fear. I'm an actor. It's a physical job. How am I going to make a living?
In February of '96, I was asked to make a special appearance on the Academy Awards.
That was just a hugely important, pivotal moment for Dad. To then move on and say, okay, I'm back out in the world.
Another completely unexpected benefit came during my stay in Hollywood. I entered hotels and buildings through garages, kitchens, and I met cooks, waiters, and maintenance crews along the way. Many of them said they were praying for me.
Even if you're Superman, that little bit of encouragement and recognition from other people goes a long ways. It fuels us, doesn't it? So be gracious. Be gracious to yourself and to others around you.
Others looked me right in the eye and said, "We love you, Superman. You're our hero." The fact that I was in a wheelchair, unable to move below my shoulders, and dependent on the support of others, had not diminished the fact that I was, and always would be, their Superman.
Our next video is with Robin Williams. I didn't realize how close Chris and Robin really were. This is a great little clip. It's good to have good friends. I'm fortunate on that level too. I have a couple of very good friends. Was in the emergency room, and everyone was coming in to see me, not sure if it was going to be the last time. And my friend Adam and his wife Jen came in, and I was really struggling. I was kind of in and out of consciousness, but I could hear. I think it's important for everyone to know that. At least for me, I could hear everybody, and I could identify who was in the room. But I was getting really stressed about some of these hallucinations I was having, being under the drugs. And my friend's wife, Jen, came and talked to me and whispered in my ear. And it was just crazy. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was something along the lines of, "Hi Shane, it's Jen. Adam and I are here, and you're gonna be okay." And her voice just cut through everything, cut through all the noise. It was incredible. And the heart rate monitor started calming down right away. I had all these screens around me beeping, and yeah, so that's important to have good friends. So love those friends you have. love them tons before you're in a situation where you truly need them, because they'll be there.
Thank also a very, very special person tonight, Chris Reeve. I miss you. And I also say, may flights of angels sing thee to thy rest, sweet prince. Good night.
Robin Williams was the first person to visit his close friend Christopher Reeve after the tragic accident that left Reeve paralyzed. This moment was not just a testament to their deep bond, but also an illustration of the kind of friend Williams was. Someone who could show up in the darkest of times and bring light through his humor. After Reeve's accident in May 1995, when he fell from a horse during a riding competition, his life changed forever. Paralyzed from the neck.
That just doesn't look like much of an accident, does it? If that's the actual clip from it. I've seen a couple different ones. The other one that I saw as well, though, wasn't severe at all. So I just think about my crash, my motorcycle accident. Because I landed on my right shoulder and my right neck. So man, I'm blessed. Sometimes we gotta look at things that way. Definitely could have been worse. I'm only paralyzed on the left side, not from the neck down. The bright side. Always look on the bright side of life. Doo-doo.
Down, Reeve faced an unimaginable new reality. But Williams was there to ease his pain, showing up at the hospital with a disguise and a joke, dressed as a Russian proctologist to make Reeve laugh. It was the first time Reeve had smiled since the accident, and that moment was the beginning of a profound chapter in their friendship. Williams and Reeve's bond began long before this life-altering event. They met in 1973 as students at Juilliard, one of the most prestigious acting schools in the world. Both were young, ambitious, and full of energy, but while Reeve was seen as serious and focused, Williams was known for his wild, unpredictable humor. Despite their differences, the two became inseparable. They even became roommates, sharing not only a living space but also their dreams of making it big in the entertainment industry. Their friendship was rooted in mutual respect, shared passion, and an unbreakable sense of camaraderie. Williams once described Reeve as like a brother, and that bond remained strong throughout the years. As their careers took off, Reeve and Williams both found success in their respective fields. Reeve became the iconic face of Superman, bringing the DC Comics character to life on the big screen and cementing his place in Hollywood history. Meanwhile, Williams transitioned from stand-up comedy to television with Mork and Mindy, and eventually to film, where he became one of the most beloved comedians of all time. Despite their fame and busy schedules, the two remained close friends, always making time for each other. When Reeve's accident happened in 1995, both he and Williams were at the height of their careers. But Williams didn't hesitate to drop everything and fly to Reeve's side. The story of his visit has become legendary. Williams storming into the hospital room, dressed as a doctor, demanding to perform a ridiculous examination, and in doing so, making Reeve laugh for the first time since the accident. In that moment, Williams reminded Reeve that there was still joy to be found, even in the midst of unimaginable hardship. Reeve later said that it was in part due to Williams that he found the strength to keep going, to fight for his recovery, and to eventually become an advocate for spinal cord injury research. As the years passed, their friendship continued to deepen. Both men faced personal challenges, Reeve with his ongoing health issues, and Williams with his own struggles with mental health. Yet, they remained.
It's interesting how really both of them were disabled. We just lost Robin Williams not too long ago. Took himself out. Just the mental health, right? It's crippling. And then Chris died from a heart attack. And unfortunately, he never did walk again.
Yet, they remained constants in each other's lives. When Reeve passed away in 2004, it was a devastating blow to Williams, who had always been a pillar of support for his friend. Even in death, the bond they shared continued to resonate with those who knew them. Williams himself passed away in 2014, 10 years after Reeve, leaving behind a legacy of laughter, kindness, and friendship. Their story is one of Hollywood's most heartwarming, a reminder that true friendship can survive even the most difficult circumstances.
So the Christopher Reeve Foundation is still going today. His kids are running it, and they're still helping people walk. Pretty amazing. It's important for us to give. And even if we don't have money financially, like the position we're in right now, give back by anything just to help support people through their difficult times. Try and ease their burden a little bit. I consider the podcast a bit of me giving back. And I do it for a couple of reasons. I think the first one's kind of selfish because it makes me feel good. And it's also kind of a therapy for myself, just to talk with you guys. And I get good feedback from you. Most of it's good. And then, giving. I mean, if you can afford it, man, please share the wealth. So organizations like the Christopher Reeve Foundation, the One Broken Biker, I mentioned in the last video, if you are up to donating, they're a great cause. They do a ton of great work to help broken bikers like myself. Right now they're just across Canada. And I want to say a quick thank you as well to Evolve Digital Marketing. Another charity that's near and dear to my heart is the Glen Rose Hospital Foundation. And it's been, after the meeting with them, working together with them with the film and the promotion, it's very exciting. So if we all start sharing and giving, everyone helps each other, the whole community does better. And that's, the meeting. So the gentleman from AMI came by, I mentioned earlier, and it was Jim and Andy. And gentlemen, if you're listening, thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. We had a great visit with you. Jim and Andy sat down with my wife and I, walked through the documentaries, some of the things that they might be able to help in, and some great pointers and tips. They didn't cut any checks or anything. Next time, bring your checkbook, guys. But we had a really good conversation. Since Andy... But we had my voice. But we had a great conversation. And since Andy is the executive in charge of audio and their podcast, I asked them if it would be okay to give them a proposal on that. At some point, you're going to have to fund one of these things. Because if you don't, I'm going to keep sending proposals. So if you want me to stop, you know what you got to do, boys. We walked through the proposal with them, and they were interested. There was some good stuff in there, a few nuggets. I think the most value I got out of the discussion was some pointers and some ideas. These guys have a ton of experience, so it was great to just be able to pick their brains a little bit, get a bit of a clearer picture of where this can go. I want to thank everybody for subscribing. We're almost at 300, 295. YouTube just changed their rules as well. They've put tiers to their monetization. So the first level is 500 now instead of 1,000. So you get a couple of perks, I guess. You don't get any of the ad revenue, which is where more of the money is, I do believe. So now we have a micro goal, 500 subscribers. So we're getting there. We're over halfway there. And then we'll still chase and push for that 1,000. So thank you everybody that subscribed. And if you're new to the channel and you like the content, please hit that subscribe button. It keeps these channels around. That's all I got for you. Have a great day. God bless.
Will never die, I know.